Okay, here's the Romeo and Juliet Act 3 quiz. First question, in the opening of Act 3, Scene 1, why does Benvolio want to get out of the streets? Because he thinks he sees Romeo, he's afraid a brawl will start, he is worried about Mercutio's health, or he sees Tybalt and wants to hide. Second question, why doesn't Romeo want to fight Tybalt? He is afraid Tybalt will kill him, he knows that Tybalt is a better swordsman, he considers Tybalt a part of his family, or he is afraid Tybalt knows about his marriage to Juliet. Third question, Romeo is motivated to kill Tybalt because Tybalt has called Romeo a villain, killed Benvolio, killed Mercutio, challenged Romeo to a duel. What did Tybalt do? Next question, the prince decrees that Romeo must leave Verona or face death, is not responsible for Tybalt's death, should be jailed, or must duel with a Capulet. When the nurse brings Juliet the news of the day's tragedy, Juliet misunderstands and first thinks that the slain man who has died is Paris, Romeo, Tybalt, her father. Lord Capulet responds to the death of Tybalt by plotting to personally murder Romeo, negotiating with the prince for Romeo's banishment, asking Paris to leave Verona and await further word, or arranging the immediate marriage of Paris and Juliet. Which statement is true about Paris? His interest in Juliet lessens and decreases after Tybalt dies. He visits the house of Montague and speaks with Benvolio. He enjoys puns and games that match people's wits, or he wishes to marry a woman he has not courted. What is true about Paris? Where is Romeo sent because of his banishment? Mantua, Antwerp, Paris, or Mancini? How does Romeo feel about his banishment? He thinks it's a fair price to pay for his actions. It's a fate worse than death. It's a blessing in disguise because he and Juliet plan to run away together, or it's better than getting killed by the Capulets. Friar Lawrence tells Romeo that he should be glad for all of the following except Juliet still loves him, Romeo is banished and not sentenced to death, Benvolio survived the sword fight, or Tybalt is dead. The nurse helps Juliet by persuading Juliet to tell Lord and Lady Capulet of her marriage to Romeo, going to Friar Lawrence with a ring of Juliet's for Romeo, never arguing with Juliet and always praising Romeo, or hiding the news about Tybalt and Romeo from Juliet. When Mercutio is stating a plague on both your houses, this is an example of flashback, foreshadowing, climax, or metaphor. After Mercutio was stabbed, he also says, ask for me tomorrow, and you shall find me a grave man. This is an example of a simile, hyperbole, oxymoron, or a pun. In Act 3, Lord Capulet tells Paris that Juliet is too young to marry. Paris and Juliet will be married. Juliet is too grieved and upset to talk of marriage, or that Juliet doesn't love Paris. What does he say in the beginning of Act 3? What is Lady Capulet's plan for Romeo after he kills Tybalt? She plans to have him brought back to Verona to stand trial. She feels he should be banished from Verona forever. She plans to send someone to kill him, or she plans to help Juliet reunite with him after Lord Capulet cools down his temper. What is Lady Capulet's plan for Romeo after he kills Tybalt? Next question, why is Capulet so upset by Juliet's refusal to marry Paris? Why is her dad upset? He considers Paris to be a really good match for her. He is uncomfortable with her tears. He does not want her to marry Romeo, or she is directly defying his authority. Lord Capulet warns Juliet that if she does not marry Paris on Thursday, he will send her to a convent, whip her, disown her, or put her in the family dungeon. Next, what does the nurse advise Juliet to do? Ask Friar Lawrence for advice. Tell her parents the truth about Romeo, run away and be with Romeo, or forget about Romeo and marry Paris. These next phrases like a dove feathered raven, a wolfish ravening lamb, okay? We've went over a bunch of these. These are all examples of similes, hyperboles, puns, or oxymorons. Next, what does Juliet plan to do if Friar Lawrence cannot help her? She will run away still to be with Romeo, marry Paris to appease her family, kill herself, or become a nun. Okay, the short response is we're just looking for a paragraph, so about 4 to 5 sentences. Be sure to use specific examples from the story, okay? You do not need to use quotes, but try and give us specific examples in your own words from the story, okay? When the prince says, all are punished at the end of it, what does he mean? And what is the significance of this statement? And lastly, when Juliet says, I have an ill divining soul, methinks I see thee, now thou art so low, as one dead in the bottom of a tomb, either my eyesight fails or thou lookest pale. What literary element is this, and why is this important? Okay, so think about when she says that, who she's speaking to. When she says, as one dead in the bottom of a tomb, either my eyesight fails or thou lookest pale. Okay, explain in your own words.